Welcome back, everyone. Going to the second half here of episode 80 of Court of Swords. Are we making these rolls now, Adam?
Yeah, let's do it. So, we fade back in on the three of you, crouched like runners. How much of a run up do you want to get on this? 10 feet?
However much we can without taking damage, and also however wide the drawer is.
Yeah, you won't take any damage for throwing yourself against the edge of the thing because there's some give. It'll slide out at least a little. So yeah, I mean I think a 10-foot run up is probably sufficient. That's what the game asked for jumping, so it seems like that. So the plan is to be like 3, 2, 1, and then you all run at the end of the drawer, jump in the air at the same time, hit the drawer, and hopefully slide it out a little ways. That's the plan.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
I'll figure out I've got an idea of a DC. So everybody make athletics checks. Everybody make athletics checks, and as long as 2 of the 3 of you can get it, your timing
What's
is
the
right.
DC?
To do the thing. We'll set it at 14. DC 14 athletics check.
Well, we got one. Damn. Okay, we got one.
All right, it's on you, Yoji.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh, so
no.
close. So so you all back up, you run at it.
I forgot to
jump,
inspire everybody.
Yeah.
You jump, and I think the problem is instead of like one single like thunk as all 3 of you hit it, we hear instead like all 3 of you like at different times, and like you stumble, and the thing jars a little. Like it opens a crack. It opens like a little bit. It's like, a tiny bit just from the force.
Right.
But yeah. You can try again if you want.
I look at the group. How long till we just throw ourselves off out of here? What's the count? I mean, we could do this all day and we'll probably get it, but
Ramus, you want to pray for us? Probably might help. In fact, pray for Yoji. And
Yes,
I have an idea of how to make us hit
Yoji.
how to make us hit the drawer at the same time. It's an old marching tune that I remember from the travels. I watched a military showing some city I don't remember when I was a kid, but it was a very easy beat. And I start like on my chest, like dump, 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 dump. Make it, and I give Ramus inspiration, or the bardic inspiration.
Okay.
There you go, Ramus. You got it. And we can all hit it at the same time. We hit it on the beat. We can do this. All right.
And I will pray for Yoji and give him guidance.
Okay. Excellent.
All right.
Go
One
ahead,
more
Colin.
athletics check.
So this means
Let's
Ramus is
go.
gonna get a D6, and
Nope.
and then Ramus gets a D6 and Yoji gets a D4.
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. Do it. So everybody goes back to the line.
Nailed
Shoulders
it.
sore.
Does a
Probably
crit-
not nails it.
does a crit count for
Yep.
2?
It does not. No. 2.
Ramus.
There you go. Big 7.
It's like watching people move furniture, and one person is obviously not helped. There we go.
Double crit.
So like this, if I had to guess, and Ramus, you can tell me this is the case. If you had to guess, I imagine this is Ramus being like, "Yeah, we'll go on 3," and Ramus just doesn't jump, and you just wait for everyone else to do it. Like, I am carrying the couch, guys. He's not carrying the couch. He's just got his hands on the bottom of it.
No. Look at me. Look at me. This way.
Ramus,
This way.
Ramus, lift it. I am lifting. I'm delicate. All right. So you hit it with triumphant force. I don't really care who. One of you roll. I just need a D6. I need a die of fate here to check something. And
Got it.
And then we're good.
I rolled a 1.
Buddy. Oh,
What?
That's not good. Okay, so here's what happens. So you come back, you crouch down, and you do great. You get exactly what you wanted. You run, you jump, most of you. You slam into the drawer, and we see a cutaway of the side of the desk. The drawer is mounted on little brass rails with like ball bearings. You slam into it, and the whole thing is just well greased. It just slides to the end of the rail and off the rail. And now you're falling.
So as we're falling, I look at Ramus and I go, Ramus, cast a spell on Collie, cast a spell on Collie, cast a spell on Collie.
Myself first.
Okay, so hold on. You don't have a lot of time to fall. It's only 160 feet. So you can, I think, make an initiative roll, Ramus, and I'll roll for gravity. I'll just roll a flat d20, and if you can beat if you can beat gravity, you can cast it before you land. Okay, so you start to pray. You're like, I've got this. You start praying, and then bang, the drawer lands. There's a splintering of wood that goes flying. And again, we see this from the perspective of like the gods, right? So we just see the drawer go fall
Since
and,
it's
land on the ground.
since it's like, because will it just fly all the way out, or will it like
Oh yeah,
and then
slowly? No, so it would be on an angle. It would come out off the rails and then just fall down onto the floor.
right? So is there any possibility that when I feel it tipping, that I could like make my way up to the top, so I'm at the top of the drawer, like, so I don't feel like, I'm not at the bottom, so I can climb or jump or roll or whatever.
Yeah, I mean the drawer's gonna break
at the bottom of the fall, but
it's gonna break when it lands. But yes, I mean I think you can, same thing. Like you can roll initiative to see if you can react quickly enough. As the drawer is like, you realize like, oh, it's falling. Ramus goes to cast the spell, but he's a little too late.
okay.
So you can make an initiative roll. Try just again. Gravity got an 18, so
Jesus Christ.
if you can beat that. Ugh. Okay, so nope, you're just in the drawer.
No.
Yoji, is there anything you'd like to do?
I'll make a roll and then I'll let you know. I'll see if I can beat it first before I tell you what I want to do.
Okay, all right.
Nope.
Okay.
13.
All right. So the drawer falls, just falls out onto the floor, crashes down to the floor. Everything in it takes falling damage. You don't take any more or less damage. It's just the same as if you fell. And let's see how much damage everybody takes when you fall. What do you think? Should we do this 1 damage for everybody, or should I roll separately for each of you? What do you guys prefer?
You're
I'll
rolling
let you
what,
decide.
10d6? What are you rolling?
16 d6.
Uh,
I feel like separate is more fun, but
I agree.
separate would play into the idea of you're falling, but something hits you from from
yeah,
the
exactly.
drawer.
You're getting jostled around differently. Okay, let me make sure. Let me see if there's a maximum number of d6s that you can take for falling damage. Let's see. Maximum is 20. Okay, so you could have fallen further. Okay. All right. So let's start with
Real quick.
Yes.
Would acrobatics help me lessen my fall? Like tuck and roll when I hit or whatever.
If you had been able to react fast enough, sure.
No, I mean at the bottom of the fall.
No, I mean the fall doesn't last
No?
that long, right? The fall is fast.
Okay.
Yeah. And that your reflexes was that initiative roll. So I mean maybe,
Okay.
but okay. So
I'm never gonna use
let's-
acrobatics.
It's not that useful as a skill, to be totally honest. There's not a ton of use for it in the game except balancing on stuff. Okay, we'll start with you, Calumet. You
Okay.
fall amidst the splinters of the busted drawer. You take 52 damage.
That's enough.
Okay. Yoji, you tumble to the floor, and you take 67 damage. Jesus, it's a rough fall.
That's literally my exact HP.
Okay, all right. Ramus, Ramus, you're gonna tumble to the floor. You take 55 damage.
I'm alive. Oh, thank God.
Okay, Ramus.
Thank God.
So we see the drawer like come off of its little like runners, fly to the floor, crash down onto the floor, and then we cut down to the carpet level. And it's just like it's like a plane wreck. Like there's chunks of like broken debris sticking up. There's like a broken bottle. The last remnants of its ink seeping into the carpet. We get this like long dramatic pan across, and we see Yoji lying there on the ground, and we see Kalimat lying in the debris, staring up at the sky. And then there's movement in the rubble, and we see Ramus. We see you like lift your head up. You're still alive.
Oh God, that hurt, didn't it? You guys okay?
You see your friends unconscious.
I think like Collie's impaled by a piece of wood or something because he took a shit ton of damage.
Right? Yeah, like it literally like is the analogy here is like like a train crash or something.
But
like
I'm out.
like a
Like
total mess.
I didn't go below, so I'm stabilized, right? Is that what that
no,
means?
at zero at zero you're still dying.
You're still
Same-
bleeding out?
same
Okay.
time.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I will. No, seeing that they're probably dead, I cast healing word on both of them.
Okay, yeah, one after the other.
First on Callie and then Yoji. Oh wow.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So the two of you, one after another, are revived by Ramus's
actually, that would be
magic.
7. It didn't add my wisdom modifier for some reason.
7 on both.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 7 for both. Okay, so both of you have 7 hit points. You are lying on the carpet, this vast, and it like the loops of the carpet come up to like your knees, standing on them, and you look up and you see the massive edifice of the desk and this big black rectangle where the drawer used to be, and all around you just chunks of broken wood, and the remnants of the desk. But here you are on the floor.
I think I just have like an exasperated sigh when I come to and stand up, look around. Ramus, why didn't you cast a spell?
Didn't have time.
I
It
told-
wasn't supposed to fly out of there.
Well, we're
Well, the
live.
good news
Look, we're live. It does, I apologize. Thank you.
A much lesser amount of my spiritual power than I would have
Yeah,
otherwise.
I understand.
It's actually good.
Thank you for
And the same result. We're both messed up. It's fine. It's the same
Yeah.
result.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
we're fine. Everything's fine.
I'm just like staring up at the desk. Collie, how you doing?
I'm perfect. Ready to go up.
Great. Yeah. No, good plan.
Blood out of my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, I like reach in my mouth and just pull a tooth that came out and kind of like flick it off to the side. And then I do like a 360. What do we see on the ground? Besides the broken
well,
drawer.
You're standing on a vast plain of shag carpeting. It's actually like a woven rug that extends out almost all the way to the walls on all sides. You can see the massive sort of redwood tree trunks of the legs of the desk. You're on the inside of the desk now, so there's like a chair behind and above you. You can see out in the room there is this pile of as yet untended to sphere or glass like jars with souls. There's a lump of melted lead that is like frozen up in the burnt carpet where the key dripped out and burned it up. And like way off in the distance to both sides, you can see decorative like wooden, well carved like dark wooden doors set into the marble of the place. There's some kind of like light up above, like a skylight or something, and there's a sunlight coming in. This pure kind of white sunlight coming down from above.
Well, Ramus,
How far are we from the sunlight?
I mean, it's filling the room, right? Like it's just that's the source of light. There's this like skylight up above in the sort of dome ceiling.
Ramus, we gotta find your soul. Then we gotta get out of here.
I know, but there's so many of them. There's endless numbers of them.
Right, but there's gotta be. They don't just. Let's get closer to one of the vials. We got to see how there's got to be some sort of sorting method here. Let's go that
You
way.
want to walk over to the like mountain of mountain of souls? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's a like medium-sized hill made out of tiny glass. Will be tiny to them, but glass jars. They're like about like the size of a human head to you. So like, yeah, like I don't know what the volume on would they'd be like 4 liter, maybe like glass jars with a cork sealed with wax, and then in them there are 2 kind of orbiting little balls of light. One is like a clear white light, and the other is sort of like cloudy, like a misty sphere, and they kind of move around in the jars. And you can see by looking at them, some of them the clearer light is brighter and bigger, and some of them the cloudy part is bigger. And there are thousands of them in this pile, all kind of like dancing around inside the jars.
I would assume the text on them is in Celestial. Is there any denoting text?
There are no labels. No, there are no labels. The sealant, the jar has a character on it, but you don't recognize it.
Okay. Ramus, what happens if we just start opening these bottles?
Wait. What if I do it again?
What? Kill yourself?
Cast the spell, and the bottle with my soul in it made a really loud noise. It went. Remember the sound, the pinging sound?
No, I wasn't there, Ramus.
Yoji, the very loud ting. And we could follow the sound.
Okay, if you're saying this happened, then yeah, I believe you. But I wasn't there. That was Kali. But by all means, go ahead.
Okay. I'll need some time. It takes a good 10 minutes to prepare.
Well, we got all day.
No, it's all right. I think I could sit. I could sit for a while. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll enjoy this.
Okay.
So I think we just like sit down while Ramus starts casting this.
Okay. All right. So there's 10. It's 10 minutes. You're casting a ritual, right? What are you casting?
I'm casting the same thing that gave us the vision the first time, that made the jar make a really loud sound when Utrix's realm. So gentle repose on myself again.
Right. Okay. All right.
Take the time.
So Kalimat and Nyoji, are you gonna do anything while this 10 minutes is passing?
No, I'm not up for any strenuous activity. I think I'm just gonna lay down. I just died, so I'm
Just
good.
lay down on the carpet and just try to.
The door leading into this room, is there space below it to look outside?
Yeah, it's a long ways away though. Like it's at
Couple
the other
hundred
other
yards.
side of the room.
Couple hundred yards.
Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah, you have to walk on over there.
Okay.
How long is a short rest?
An hour.
Okay.
So 6 times longer than you actually need for this spell. But you could, I mean, in 10 minutes, Yoji, you could jog over there and take a look and come back.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I kind of look over there and squint a little bit. I'm gonna go see if we're actually where we think we are. I'll be over there. Just don't do anything stupid. I just shake my head.
All right, so Yoji, while Ramus begins to pray and Kalimat tries to rest and like recover from the fall, Yoji, you jog across the kind of tall grass of the carpet, and you run over to the door, and yeah, there's like a decent gap at the bottom, like a couple of inches that you could, I mean, inches for them, like a couple of feet for you. Crawl down and look under there. So you're standing before the edge of this big beautiful wooden door, and you've never seen. It's like macro photography. You've never seen wood like this close up.
Right.
Like every intricate swirl of the grain, and it's really quite beautiful, quite breathtaking. You can see the sort of individual like air bubbles in the varnish that we used on the door. And then at the bottom, the door has a like a reinforced section with some like brass plate. And you can see the tool marks on it and stuff. And then there's a gap that you can kind of peer under, and you can feel like a gentle flow of air from outside into this room under the door.
Okay. Yeah, I want to like go under and peer outside to see what's beyond.
So you crouch down and you look, and you can only see you just see like light. Like looking into a well-lit fog. It's just like white mist beyond.
Is it penetrable? Like, can I walk towards it and put my hand through it, or?
I mean, it looks like it's outside the door, but yeah, I mean, as you crawl or you like crouch further under the door, it doesn't seem to resolve at all.
Well, I want to like push. I want to actually like put my hand through it if I can.
You reach out into your hand where it goes into the mist. You can feel like cold and damp. You kind of wave through it. And your arms become harder to see when you put them in the fog and you pull them back. It doesn't seem to like harm you or anything. It's a little chilly.
I'm just gonna fashion. I was gonna do something with rope, but I'm just gonna draw my bow and just fire a shot, and see if I hear it like thud.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you draw your bow, you crouch down and fire it. The bow sails off into the mist. You don't hear it hit anything. You don't hear it clatter off of the floor. It just.
All right. That's enough info for me. I start making my way back.
Okay. Right. So, Ramus, you've finished casting finished preparing your ritual, and you can cast your spell, which will protect you from decay, and you can't become undead. So yeah, I think the way this spell works is it's a request to heaven to delay the processing of a soul, which is why the soul in heaven does, like, it notifies the person processing them to be like, oh, nope, just put a delay stamp on this one and we'll wait. Make a, you and Calimot both make a perception check. Because everybody's like listening, right? Like, okay, here we go. And what did you get, Ramus? For your roll perception?
Now, perception. 23.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you hear faintly at a distance. You hear the sound, that like pinging sound. It's very different than the first time you heard it, but it's definitely the same sound.
I heard it. And can I tell what direction it came from?
Yeah. There's a door behind the desk that it seems to have come from the other side of.
It's behind that big door. I heard the sound.
Let's go get it.
Yoji, what are you doing?
I think I like stroll up to the group at this point. I was, if we're in heaven, I think we're only allowed to be in this room, because underneath that door is just, it seems like nothing. But what happened? What did you need?
I think we heard a sound behind that big door over there. Need to go under it.
The door where I just was?
The other door behind the desk.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go. Start making our way.
Start heading out.
Okay. All right. So you head towards that door, and Yoji, as before, the door, there's a gap underneath the door. This door from down here, if you peer up at the top of it, there's this door is locked. There's like a lock on the door, unlike the other one, and there's some kind of plaque, but at this distance, you can't make out what it says. There's like a gold plaque on the door, but everything's too distorted and too big for you to read it at this perspective. But locked door doesn't matter when you can just squeeze underneath.
I guess. Cully, you
What
want to
does
go
it
first?
say? We can't. So you said we can't read it?
I can't read it.
No, well, just because. No, I mean, yeah, like it's written in Celestial first of all, and then second of all, it's like it's on an angle, so it's very hard to read because it's huge,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay.
Ramus, do you want to do that one more time?
Well, I'd rather just look and see what's behind the door first.
All right. After you.
And eagerly, like I look like I'm excited the first time in a long time. Like I feel like I'm getting close finally to my goal, and like I start looking under the door first to see if I see anything.
Okay. Yeah. So you crawl down and you look underneath, and you can't see anything in the room, but you can see the floor on the other side. It appears to be this sort of like white marble. It's all shiny, really polished, and it extends out like as far as you can see. But again, you're really low to the ground, so you can't make any context of the room.
All right, let's go in and start crawling underneath.
Yeah. Okay.
I join him.
Do you follow?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm following.
All right.
Following at the back.
So yeah, camera dips down with the group of you and follows you as you crawl under the door. And on the other side, as you emerge, and we can see the whole room. Even if you weren't tiny, even if you weren't like this big, this would be a monumental chamber to the point where the ceiling is so high you cannot see it. There are probably like clouds and like birds flying around between you and the roof. There are shelves on either side of you that rise up into the sort of like cloud layer above and extend as far as you can see until like your vision gets hazy out at the distance. There's no horizon here. Everything's like flat, so it's as far away as your eyes can physically see. There are these shelves, and the shelves are covered in these jars, either empty or with souls hanging around in them. And the shelves go in all directions. You can see as you come in, as we see this, you can see that there are creatures crawling around on the shelves. And they look like they're meant to be here. These are not like necessarily like monsters or whatever, but they are enormous. They're black and shiny. They have 8 legs. They seem to be moving vertically on the walls as if they were walking on the floor. And they're either transparent or something, because they basically look like they're made up out of like looking at the night sky. You can see patterns of stars moving around inside them. They're like glass spiders full of star stuff, and they're moving around on these glass limbs, picking up jars, moving things around. From where you're standing, you can see maybe like a half dozen of them, and if they were down where you are, these things would be like dragon sized. They're enormous. And this is what you see when you emerge into the room.
Ramus, we don't need to go that deep in here, right? It's just right over here.
I don't know.
No, we don't need to go very deep in here. That was a statement. Just came out like a question. We're not going very deep in here. Why don't you do your ritual again and we'll see where the sound comes from.
I can try.
Why don't we do it on the other side of the door and we'll have Kali stay in here hidden and listen for it.
I didn't hear it last time.
Oh.
I can do
only,
it.
Only Ramus can hear it. Yeah.
What were you saying?
I can do it under the door, like, so that they don't see us. The things.
Yeah, let's do
Not
that.
very hard.
Let's do that. Yeah, yeah. I start like immediately backing up when he says that.
Mm-hmm.
10
Okay.
minutes?
So what's the... Yeah, 10 minutes. What's the plan?
Try to perform the ritual again and see if we can reproduce the sound once more.
Okay, and you want to do that from right in here?
Yeah, for like right inside the door, right under the doorway.
Okay. All right, to see if... all right, so I'll roll to see if anybody notices you. I'm casting a spell, so it takes like... There's a verbal component to this. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna start casting the ritual. Kalimat and Yoji, what are you doing while this is happening?
Making sure that the second that we get noticed, I realize it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
just
on
keeping
watch,
an eye out.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, so about 5 or 6 minutes into the ritual, one of the spiders has descended down one side of the wall and is tending to some stuff there, moving some jars around. You notice it's got a big like basket on its kind of like thorax or whatever it's got on the middle of its back. This big basket, and it's keeping that level, and it's picking up jars and placing them in, and pulling out jars and putting them down. The basket seems to be made out of like woven platinum. It's a big like metal mesh basket, and it puts a jar down, and then you can see it stop, and it turns and it puts that leg, rather than reaching in front of the jar, it puts that leg down on the floor. You hear it click on the marble, and then it puts another foot down on the floor, and seems to be like turning to see if it's noticed. Like it's like, wait, what was that sound? Right? You get the little exclamation mark pop up over its head. It's noticed something, but you don't know if it's like turned its attention on you yet.
I turn back. Can I get a sense of how long Ramus has left in the spell?
You know, it takes about 10 minutes, so he's about halfway through.
One sec. All right, I guess I just let it keep going. And the second that Ramus's ritual finishes, I'll cast Pass Without Trace on me. Or on Ramus, rather. Which I guess is on all of us. It doesn't matter. Basically, I'm just trying to like make sure that we all get a bonus to stealth the second that the ritual ends.
Right, so as soon as the ritual's over, you want to run and hide. Okay. Kalimat, is there anything that you want to do?
No, I'm just gonna keep an eye on the spider and get ready to go invisible if need be.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely like coming towards you now. Still tentatively, still cautiously. It's got its little like front kind of arms out, but it's not like in prey mode. It's not gonna like jump, but it is moving towards you. Yeah, you're just kind of like, you feel suddenly very exposed, and it's fully down on the floor now. Its little glass legs like tinking on the marble.
If I look, how long? Ramus about 75% of the way through.
Yeah. I mean, chances are pretty good this thing's gonna get to you before it does before he finishes the spell.
I whisper to Kali, do you see that thing coming towards us? See a spider? Do you think we should get out of here?
I don't know.
Because I can make this whole thing go silent. It's going to cancel that ritual, though.
Yeah. Maybe I could talk to it.
Well, I guess that is an option, yeah. I look back towards Ramus. You can't communicate when you're casting a ritual, right? It would break it?
No, he's praying. Yeah, he's praying.
Okay. I look back and say, I don't want to get caught by this spider. And I just I cast Pass Without Trace so it silences everything around us.
Okay. So being silenced interrupts your Ramus interrupts your prayer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if Yoji is like everybody hide, then you can make stealth. You can make stealth checks. It can still see you. But if you want to scramble and like run, hide under a shelf or like hide under the doors or whatever, you can.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. The second I cast it, I immediately wave my hand at Ramus to then point to the spider so he realizes why the fuck I did that. As it's super close to us, so then I'll cast. Or then I'll try to stealth off. So you get a +10 to stealth with this whenever you roll it. 35.
Right, and Ramus, you're technically it's different. So if you wanted to continue casting, you could, but you just wouldn't get a stealth check. Your friends would abandon you, and you'd be able to finish the spell.
Oh, because it wouldn't go to.
It doesn't technically silence you. It gives you a bonus to your stealth check. Yeah. What do you want to do, Ramus?
I think that I'm gonna die anyways if I don't get my soul back. I think it's more important to get my soul. If I die from a creature of heaven, I don't care. I'm finishing the spell. I keep casting.
Oh,
Right.
So if Ramus is going to keep going and whatever, then I will forego my stealthiness and let Yoji get away or whatever, and then try and get between me or the spider and Ramus.
Okay. So so Yoji, you run and hide.
Yep.
Nearby, so you hide behind one of the edges of a shelf.
Yep.
As this enormous celestial spider comes forward, and it moves a little more quickly when it gets closer, when it sees you, Kalimat, and you stand there and it stops. And yeah, this thing is the size of an airplane, like the size of a 747, right? Just so you have an idea of scale.
Jeez.
And it's got this big basket on its back, and it comes skittering forward and stops. Crouches down, and you can see it's got these spheroid glass eyes, and you can see yourself reflected on its surface. And then underneath that, there is this deep kind of indigo and purple, nebular cloud moving slowly inside it, dotted with stars. It's quite beautiful. And it looks down at you, and it says something. You don't understand Celestial, right?
No, if as soon as it starts speaking. Yeah. I kind of put up my hand do you speak my tongue?
So, Yoji, you hear it say assessing in Celestial. That's the first word it says. And then Kalimat, you say some stuff. It doesn't seem to respond.
Okay.
And then it says in Celestial, it says assessment complete. Unauthorized entities 1. Prayer detected. Who are you praying to, Ramus? It's still the tower, right?
Yeah, currently.
Yeah, currently. Okay, all right. And And then it says in Celestial, it says querying. There's a pause, and then in common, it says to you, Kalimat, state your purpose of entry.
I'm here because I was trapped by a giant. He locked me in a drawer.
Circumstances irrelevant. State your purpose.
Escape.
You desire egress.
Yes.
Granted. Kalimat disappears. There's just like a pop, and Kalimat is just gone. Just boop. The spider like lifts itself back up, kind of like looks around. It says in Celestial, divine energy detected. Prayer continues. Origin entity unknown. Error detected. And Ramus, you're like sweating, right? Like still casting your spell. Do you want to finish? You finish the spell?
I want to finish because in the back of my mind, I do remember that the angel couldn't see me. So I'm thinking that.
Yeah, right.
Me.
It's detecting your like energy transfer, right? Your spell, your prayer, but it doesn't know where it's coming from, and so it thinks something's broken. You finish the spell, and there is the sound. You hear it. It's very clear the spider hears it too because it like tenses up and turns. And both of you like immediately your attention turns to there's a shelf. Obviously there's shelves everywhere, but you hear it come from fairly nearby and down low, like under one of the shelves. But you and the spider both hear this.
Do I not hear it?
No, Yoji, but you detect both of them. It's like watching a couple of predators like hear like an antelope in the bush, right? They both just go like shit. The thing we want is over there.
Right.
I am running for it. I don't care about the spider. I'm running for the thing, my soul.
Okay. All right. So it doesn't move. It just like looks up and like rubs its little front hands together. You run for it, right? You run for the shelf. And as you're running, we can see another one of these enormous spiders crawling down the shelf towards it. And yeah, Yoji, you can see that it's very clear that Ramus his little legs are not fast enough, and this thing is closer. It will get to the disturbance before Ramus does, unless there's something that you do.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Does pass without trace go away if I make an action?
No, but you're not invisible. You're just stealth, so you break stealth basically.
And that would apply to. Is it Dread Ambusher that gives? What's the thing that makes me invisible? Is it Umbral Sight?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's this. Does that apply?
You gain dark vision. You're also adept at evading creatures that rely on dark vision. While in darkness, you're invisible. Yeah, okay. It's not dark in here, but
Okay. Trying to see. You said these vials are like 4 of me tall?
Which the jars?
Yeah. How big are the jars?
No, the jars are all uniform size. They're like head size. Like
head size.
Tubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I make it underneath the door, then take a shot with my bow and break one of the bottles?
You want to run for the door and then like do like a slide, and as you're sliding under the door, like fire up and hit one of the bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
That's what I'll do.
You could do
On the opposite direction of where Ramus is going.
Sure, just to try to cause a distraction.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let me see. So I'm gonna roll just like a timing check. Okay, 10. All right. Yoji, make an initiative roll.
22.
Nice. Okay, yeah, you're fast. So you take off running, you start to slide, and the floor is nice and smooth. So you're sliding, you fire an arrow. Make an attack roll just against an AC 10.
24.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. So we see a jar up on the shelf, and then an arrow breaks through it, thunks into the shelf, and we see this little paired set of lights like flicker up into the air and like disappear. And yeah, the spider that's on the floor turns and looks, and the two spiders the nearest to it like start scrambling off towards it, which gives you Ramus the opportunity to run over to where the sound was. So you get over there. The spider, you have to like run under it because it's like right above, but it's turned its attention to the noise. You run up, and yeah, there's a gap of about 3 feet from the floor to the bottom of the shelf, and then it's just like dark and dusty underneath.
Okay, I cast light and start crawling underneath.
Okay,
Looking
right.
for a bomb.
Okay, yeah. So you cast the spell, and you crouch down, and you start to crawl under the shelf, and I don't think Ramus is aware of this, but we see it. Underneath the shelf also has a kind of like fogginess to it. There's like clouds of like mist kind of like floating around under here. And you can see reflected in your light, you see a jar lying on its side with just one little foggy orb fluttering around, pinging around on the inside of it. It's quite big, like the foggy orb, the cloud spirit takes up most of the inside of the jar. And it's like when you see it, it's like looking in a mirror. You're like, wait a second, I know that thing. And you start crawling towards it. But the closer you get, the more the mist kind of like closes in around you. Yeah, and you continue to crawl. Yoji, the farther Ramus gets away from you, the less like real the space seems to become. The door starts to become impermeable. The walls are kind of like foggy, and as Ramus crawls away, the spiders start to like fade or disappear. And yeah, and Ramus, you're like crawling towards this jar. And yeah, sorry, it's the bright light, not the cloudy one. You have that. This is the other part of the soul. So yeah, Ramus, you're like maybe 15 feet away from it. You can see it. It's just like it's lying there, and there's dust, and you can see the path in the dust where it rolled under the shelf, where it cleared the dust.
I still tried hardest to just reach and run towards it. Like I'm pushing as hard as I can, but I think I'm not like it's always just out of reach, isn't it? Like I just can't.
Well, as you get closer to it, yeah, the fog closes in, and we see you with one hand like reaching for it, and your fingers pass through the glass as everything else around you just kind of like comes apart. Yoji, same thing. Like it all just turns to fog, and when your vision kind of clears as the clouds like part, you and Ramus and Kalimat are standing just in a bank of fog. There's just like white fog in all directions, but you can see each other. You're standing in kind of like an open place. Ramus is down on his hands and knees. What's your reaction, Ramus? Like, what do we see when you like reach out to grab it and then it's just like not there? It's like trying to grab onto water.
I think I'm just like on both knees, just like confused for a second, trying to figure out what just happened. Why it was there. My hope was back, and then now it's just gone, and I'm just in shock and angry and just a swirl of emotions right now.
Yeah. Kalimat, no time has passed for you, right? It was just like granted, bloop, and then you were here. Yoji, you watched Ramus run and slide under the thing, and now you're just like over here. But you've seen the mist, right? This is the same fog and mist that you saw before.
Yeah.
Where did I just go?
That thing wished you away or something. I don't know. Ramus, did you get it?
Did he? Yes. Ramus, did you get it?
there was nothing to get. It was all an illusion.
Was it though?
None of it was real.
Some of it was real. I think that place actually exists.
You may call it illusion, but it's a vision.
I was so close. It was there. My fingers were touching it. It's gone.
But we were never really there in the first place.
I don't think I will ever live long enough to reach this place.
But that doesn't make sense. Is that what you really wanted, was your soul?
I wanted to survive. If I could get my soul back, I know someone who could help me live. Now I don't know what to do.
Maybe that's the vault's way of saying you wouldn't survive. Because it gave me what I wanted. I thought about a way to kill my father, and that's what it gave me. There's no question about that. So if there's a way that it can happen, then maybe that's why I saw it. You get what I'm getting at?
I think I saw where it is. I see it, but I don't know how to get there. How's a mortal without a soul get into heaven?
I mean, that's not an easy question to answer, but we can figure it out.
I'm running out of time. The hourglass of my life is almost out. I'm getting weaker every day. I acted like it was the fumes, but it wasn't. I was weakening.
What do we go talk to Petal? Maybe Petal can help us. She has to know something. Maybe you can make another deal. She might. I don't know. Collie, right? Petal would want to talk to us.
I don't know that she would have anything that she could do.
We're not just
the vault holds things or people. That arrow that you got was probably just one of many different options. So maybe you need to want something different, Ramus. Instead of wanting your soul, maybe want for a way to get into heaven. Because if you want a way to kill somebody, I could hand you a sword, I could hand you poison, I could hand you a myriad of different things. That's why Yoji's request seems so doable.
I think this place is smoke and mirrors, and the only thing that's real is stuff people put in here. Everything else is a lie, just like everything to do with the gods.
Is there anything around us, Adam, by the way? Or are we just in like a giant open mist room?
You're in the hallways of the vault, right? The
Right.
nebulous in-between space before conjuring the various safe deposit box that make up the vault.
What were we going to say, Zeke?
Nothing.
I take a few steps.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say we go to whatever the people gave Berg and we get out of here?
Let's get the key.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's not over yet, Ramus.
Let's all
We'll
think
figure it
about
out.
that this time. Let's all think about the same thing. We want to get out of here. We want to accomplish our goal. So, all of us at once. Once we get that, we can leave.
Yep. Understood.
I focus on that.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay. Good. So, and Ramus, are you able to focus your mind on the like the Immortals key and their purpose?
Takes me a minute, but I eventually
Yeah.
just thinking about the key and maybe killing someone with it. But yeah, I'm thinking about the key.
Okay. All right. So, you envision like you have nothing to concentrate on. You can just think about like the immortals and your purpose and your own desires to drive you forward. And with everybody focusing on the same thing, we see the fog part somewhat, and you hear the sound of like water running. You see before you a garden gate. It appears to be made out of like woven vines, like vines that have grown together over a frame to make a beautiful gate. Though the vines are they don't bear fruit. They've been dead some time. You feel the warm breeze of the desert on your skin, and you smell like game like fowl being cooked. You can smell like meat in the air, and so it's all fog all around you except for this gate of woven plants, like of dead plants. The gate is shut, but lies before you in the mist.
Where are we? What is this?
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
What was Berg sent here for? What was he trying to get? Did the other orc tell him?
We were supposed to get the key to unlocking the immortals and possibly a way to awaken a creature of destruction.
Right. Well, I guess let's go. See if that's all here. I start walking towards the gate.
Now, does this remind me of like Inanna's lair or anything like that? Is it familiar like that, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You could make a history check if you want to.
Oh, crit.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So something about when you're like something about this seems familiar. The desert air, the smell of the spices that are being used on whoever like was. So this is they put you in a place mentally of like long ago of like a tribe in the desert, like a wandering tribe, maybe as a kid, like interacting with them in some way. Music of an ancient time passed through these nomadic tribes generations, and something about the desert breeze and the smell of the food brings to mind a deeply old memory, both for you and for the world itself. Something in this place has its origins in thousands of years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I keep that to myself.
Okay.
Just see how it plays out. And I walk to the gate and I try and like push it open.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It opens, no problem. You just put your hands on it and
Okay.
push it. Swings open.
Keep walking through.
Okay. So inside, you find like a garden, though it's obviously not in a growing like season, or maybe there's a drought. The garden seems to be a rose garden, but the all it is like dead leaves. The petals have long blown away, so it's just thorns, clusters of like briars and thorns, and it's set up as a perimeter. You're walking through a gate into this open garden area. There is a dry fountain in the middle, primitively carved. There's no like swan or like water feature or anything. It's just like a well, basically a glorified well, and you hear fire crackling. And you can hear the sound of like water, the water bubbling And when you look into this little garden square, you can see there is a man sitting on the edge of this old well, facing away from you. He has a dusty, sort of ochre-colored traveler's cloak around his shoulders, and he has long, curly black hair that normally looks like it would be tied up in a like in a turban, but he seems to have taken it off. There's a pile of fabric nearby, and so he has this like long, shiny black hair, and he's sitting just turning a spit, and that's where the smell is coming from. But he hasn't noticed you come in.
I keep walking towards him, and before I get like 15 feet from him, I'll stop and speak. Hello there.
He doesn't start. He's not like "Ugh," like jump up or anything, but he takes notice and he straightens up. And he turns and he looks over his shoulder. He's wearing a tunic, kind of open at the neck. He has like very tan skin. Like he's dark skinned to begin with, but he obviously has like the weathered skin of a desert traveler. His eyes carry a weight of age that his face belies. Right, he looks younger than you would guess if you were looking into his eyes. He has dark brown eyes, like almost black. He's strikingly handsome in a kind of rugged, weathered way. And in his hair, he has some like beads, mostly of like lapis, woven into his hair. He has a curved knife on his belt, or he has the scabbard for one on his belt, but the knife itself is lying on the ground in front of him, along with some other cooking implements. And on a spit, he's got a metal prong over two hooks over a fire. You see three birds dripping grease into the fire. There's a little spring that's broken up through the stones nearby, and a little like a pool of water, and then the spring kind of like goes off and dries up. And when he looks up and he sees you, he says, "Huh, I was not expecting visitors. Certainly not so soon. I think I have food enough for everyone. Come, sit." He gestures, and there's a rug in front of him, where there's like place settings. There's like pillows to sit. You see, there's a like a water pipe, like a hookah, and it's like little details of the scene emerge as you notice them. Like there's a camel sitting, like kneeling nearby with like a pack on its shoulders that you know was always there, but you didn't notice it when you walked in. And so the scene is like gently sort of shifting around you as you move, and you're aware of the fact that this camel wasn't always here, but it seems like the most natural thing in the world. You don't feel like you're being like lied to in the way detecting an illusion would be, but you can feel that there's something fluid about this space. And yeah, he gestures.
Oh. I smelled it before I saw it, and I, for one, am grateful to have a meal. Thank you. My name is Kalimat. These are my companions, Yoji and Ramus.
And he nods and he says, "I apologize for my informality." He gestures to like his hair, and he says, "But it's been a long day, and I had not thought to receive guests. I can tie it up if it offends you." And he looks at Ramus when he says that.
I'm not paying attention. I'm just doing my own thoughts.
Yeah, and he says, "I would, in fair exchange, give you my name, but I'm afraid, like many other things, I've lost it since arriving in this place."
Have you been here long?
"I don't know. Have they built the city yet?"
The city of brass.
"Is that what they called it? It was only a dream when I came to this place. Foundations. Stones. A temple atop a hill."
It was beautiful. It was massive. Many people called it home. But now it's time for its return to the wheel.
As with all things. He gestures and he's like taking the game fowl off of the thing. He's starting to like prepare it, like cut it up, and he's got like food for everybody. He takes like a cover off of a plate, and there's some like flatbread and like a simple like traveling like meal you would have when camping for the night. And yeah, and he gestures for you to sit if you want to come and eat with him.
I gladly take a seat.
Yoji, what do you do? Are you gonna sit with them, or are you gonna stand nearby? Or
I think like as I see Collie sit, I like look over and see that Ramus gives zero fucks about being here right now. Like he's so lost in his head. Uh, I look at Collie and look back at the band. Are you real? Are you a real person? How do we know that you're not just, some figment of something? We're just here to get what we need and get out. We don't want to have a meal with you. I'm sorry.
I apologize for my friend. He's not used to being around people and the niceties therein. Please, Yoji, sit.
No,
We have nothing but time, and this food will do us good.
I'm not. Eat that food. See if you feel full. See if it actually fills your belly. I bet you it doesn't.
Gladly.
Take a bite. I'll wait.
Not before my host.
and he's just like smiling gently, right? This isn't like a malicious smile at the two of you, and he says, "In truth, I haven't eaten in some time myself. Lost my appetite, I think. As your friend says," looks at Yoji, "this place is not always as it seems. I had a thought moments ago that I might be entertaining guests. I made the meal for you. I will not be offended if you do not want to eat it."
What are you? Are you a prisoner of this place? How'd you get here?
I sacrificed a great many things a long time ago for my family.
That's the most open-ended statement I've ever heard. What did you sacrifice? People? Your life? Some animals?
And you can see, like, he wants to answer, but there is some like deep pain here, and he says, "My tribe has a custom. In a family, there are to be 4 children. It is a number of good fortune. The 5th son is bad luck, especially a 5th son born under the stars I was. I should have been left in the desert as the tribe moved on. My mother, she was soft, disobeyed our gods, hid me away. I was allowed to grow into a man, pretended I was the son of another woman, one who couldn't have children. No one knew I was void-born. They couldn't. And then we came to this place. Sacred place, the mountain, where they would build their city. We made a deal with heaven, my siblings and I. 4 would stay to rule, and 1 would stay here to protect them. I was torn asunder, then split down the middle. Some part of me escaped. May still be out there. But as for me, I stayed to protect my family. Their immortality.
I want to get a good hard look at this guy and see if he looks familiar to me. I want to like look him up and down real hard.
Yes. Yeah.
Should I roll?
No, you don't even have to.
Okay.
Without the tattoos and without the like smug attitude, without all the effect, and he can change his shape, but I mean, there's something in him. You're in the presence of a familiar figure. Like you feel this. It's definitely his on.
He's the key.
Who is the? You're the key, the man.
He holds the shield. He protects their immortality by him living here.
So this is a real person.
He's a real person.
So now, like, I kind of reach for my bow. So you guys are gonna kill him to kill the immortals?
In a way. His other half wants to.
Huh. Well, this is all y'all. I just kind of like take a couple steps back. You let me know if you need anything, but I'm not going to take someone's life that I didn't know prior to, unfortunately.
So, not to be an ungracious guest, but I think we were sent here to kill you.
To what end?
To raise the city of Brass so that it can be born anew.
In doing so, you must know that this would undo all of my hard work, all the time that I spent here. The city and my siblings, they are bound together. If it falls, they die. And if they die, so goes the city.
The city is already dying, but it's dying a death of disease. It's like
Sorry, go
an
ahead.
undead. What's happening to the city now will kill it, but it will be changed. If we kill it the way we want to, it'll be a fresh start. It won't be an undead city.
So you've come to do heaven's will, then. Undo the mistake it made so long ago in letting us step aside from the wheel. I've been here paying penance for that. And as for my other half, I can only imagine he suffers as well.
Do you want to be released?
And he smiles and he says, I've lived my life on time that was not mine. To end it now would be the same as any other day. I had hoped that they would return when they were done with their great work. And we could all go to heaven together, but if it is as you say, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
What would happen if you left this place?
I don't know.
Would you remerge with your other half?
I don't know that either.
What are you getting at, Ramus? You just looking into the unknown? Or do you have a reason for one that?
If he merges with his other half, Hassan would become mortal.
Right. The only
And
reason
then you could kill Hassan.
Right. The only reason you'd want him mortal is so you could kill him, Ramus.
And what a blessing to the tower that would be. To destroy something that's lived far too long.
I mean, I understand the quest for one to kill someone, don't get me wrong, but if that lasts any more than a couple of weeks, it's not fun. So if you actually want to do that, you need to make sure that you've got a plan on how to. Otherwise, you're going to be going into vaults, getting arrows. You know, it's not a fun life.
Mm-hmm.
Would you come with us?
Immortality. So he interrupts and he says,
Okay.
Immortality is among heaven's most forbidden blasphemies. I fear my soul is weighed heavily by it. I can only then imagine that my other half, whatever shape it's taken these long years, has struggled to undo the crime that I committed. My family must be as loathsome to him as they are beloved of me. He spent his entire existence suffering for a crime he did not commit. I would ask that you have pity on him. Whatever he did in heaven's name.
Well, it's not a free pass just because it's in heaven's name. At least not to us, not to everyone.
And he looks at you, Ramus, and he says, do you believe that that is so? An act done in the name of the Arcana can be false?
I think that heaven isn't as infallible as we think. It makes mistakes, lots of them. And they're unraveling. I don't think he acts in. I think heaven acts separate of the true Arcana.
Well, if this Hazan is the wolf of heaven, then I am just a lamb. My slaughter, if it is to come at your hands, is yours to perform. If you've come here to take me away from this place, then I'll go with you. There's no fight in me.
I think we need just to take him out. We don't need to kill him. Just remove him from the vault.
Great. Pack your bags, old man. Let's go.
So he stands up, and all of the trappings of the meal are just like gone. Like his traveling stuff is gone. All of this, if you're just standing in the kind of empty plaza, and he says to you, Ramus, this place holds promise of great desires. It can be a labyrinth, a trap, but there are things hidden here as well, things you would require a key to gain access to. How came you by the vault? What let you in?
A key from the orcs, and then a creature inside. I described the creature with the kittens in the belly and the stuff that it gave us.
He smiles ruefully when you describe her, and he says, "A poisonous flower, that one." And he nods, and he says, "I was only curious."
Hey, if you walk out of here, is anyone gonna know you're leaving?
Almost certainly. There is no way that I could imagine my family not knowing immediately that their vulnerability had been made manifest.
I look at Ramus and call it. It's not good. You don't want those people at your back. So if we do this, be ready for a fight, I guess.
Are you saying there's something in here that we still need?
I cannot know. This is all I've seen for. He shrugs like, I don't know, an infinite amount of time, however long it took to like thousands of years. So he doesn't know, but yeah.
Can this place show you absolutely anything you desire?
I believe the vault sees with the eyes of heaven. Anything hidden from that, you would not be able to see. It preys, as the devil does, on your desires, the things that you want most.
There is something I need to know.
I would not listen to the devil's advice on these things. Temptation more than fact. There's little truth to be found here.
That's true. I don't know if I could trust this place, even if I saw what I wanted to see. It's all through the eyes of the devil.
Can we go wherever this place is that you want to see and see it for ourselves? Is that an option?
What I want to see is what the deal was between the old gods and the heaven. What deal they made.
I don't think that's for us to know, Ramus.
I know.
Well, shall we leave?
Very well.
We shouldn't.
I think
we
we'll go mad if we stay for too long.
We should wait a little bit at least. The second we go out that door, we're gonna have people trying to kill us. I think you guys
Probably
don't understand that.
shortly.
Yeah. You can at least enjoy his fake food for a little while.
There's no rush. We can stay for a little while.
Bring the food back, old man.
I'm no longer in the mood to eat. Now that we have what we came for, let us be gone.
Collie, if you walk out that door, there's gonna be
On death's door. We just need to regen a little bit of life force.
there could be an army out there. Collie, do you understand that? You ready to go fight an army right now?
What I understand is that the longer you stay in here, the more chance you have of staying in here permanently.
Well, it's been only a couple hours by my estimation, so
Yeah, you definitely can't take a long rest like mechanically because it hasn't been 24 hours since the last time you rested.
yeah. So let's just enjoy some food, We'll have the old man tell us a story, and then we'll be gone. What's a couple of minutes? An
I mean,
hour
like
even.
hour.
Yeah,
Can you
I mean, if you want to
accompany
rest
us?
and eat,
Yeah. I wanted to ask Void Hassan if we were to go someplace within the vault, would you accompany us?
he shakes his head and he says, I don't know that I could. I am not a visitor to this place. I am property.
I see.
Deposit.
Of course. All right, then. I'm outnumbered. Let's rest, recoup, prepare for these armies of whatever coming to attack us once we leave the vault. Since you are ancient, while we take our rest, I have a few questions to ask you.
Yeah. Yeah, he nods and he says, so you're like, the food is there and he's like, doling it out for you. And yeah, he's happy to talk. He says, my memory is not as we might hope, but I can tell you what I remember. What is it that you wish to know?
JP,
Tell
I'm
me
gonna
what you know. Oh, sorry.
during our long rest, during our short rest, I'm gonna cast Prayer of Healing as well.
Okay.
All of us.
Okay.
I want to know about dragons and the deal they made. Do you know of what I speak?
We have stories in my tribe about dragons. One terrible worm. He said his scales were made of gold. He lived beneath the desert. Would shimmer like a pile of treasure to draw in children, snatch them away from the tribe for nefarious purposes. Depending on how old the audience was, to steal them, to eat them, to have its way with them and produce abominations. But they were greedy creatures, given distance and respect, care to be avoided, dangerous and elemental.
Abominations. Like the one you see before you, perhaps.
I have never seen such as you before.
And you just
Our
see
dragons.
my face just go like crestfallen, just down, like you've never seen another one of me. Oh, fuck.
And yeah, and he looks at you and he says, what troubles you so?
All my life, I've never found another of my kind. I knew of my parents, and that was it. Tales and whispers and shadows and lies. It's all I have. I have no family. I have no heritage, no bloodline, no pride. Been searching for so long to find these things, and no one has any answers from God to beggar. That's all.
It can be difficult not knowing the truth of a thing. Or worse, knowing it once and forgetting it. Like a name. I have found that in the absence of memories, absence of knowledge, I tell myself stories. Perhaps it's more important that you decide for yourself your place in the world rather than seeking out some story already told. Perhaps you are unique in all the world. It can be a lonely existence, but it's nice to be special, don't you think? And besides, and he looks over at Yoji and Ramus. Maybe Ramus, you're tending to Yoji, you're like casting the prayer of healing on him. I think family is complicated. It might be better to find a new one than to seek out one you already have. Less disappointing that way. I think were you to find others like you, spawn of the dragon, it might not please you to know where you came from, if the stories are true.
I'd rather know.
He nods. And I wish you good luck in your search.
Thank you.
Cool.
Walk
So
away.
any other any other like stuff, prep, discussions that happened during that hour?
I think
Yeah, anybody wants to spend hit points?
yeah. If you guys want to do hit points, I'm full. Zeke, if you want to expend some hit dice.
Mm-hmm.
I think like as Ramus is casting prayer healing, I look up at him and, you doing all right, Ramus? I know that didn't go quite how you wanted it, but at least now we know.
Every time I get answers, I get more questions.
Yeah, well, if it was easy, life would be boring.
It's true.
I mean, that's a stupid statement to say. It's supposed to make you feel better, but we'll we'll get that soul of yours. At least we know exactly where it's at now. In whatever room that was in heaven.
I just don't think I'm going to survive that long.
Yeah, well,
I know of possibly one place that might get me there, but it's far. I don't think I would make it.
well, stick around for a little while longer. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Dark disturbances in that region too.
Yes, that's true.
I think the spell goes off and I start to like wrap my wounds. I think as we're doing that, I notice like the party's almost ready to go. It's been a decent amount of time. Look at the old man, say, you got anything that needs to come with you? A bag, armor,
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah. He shakes his head and he says, everything here is a product of my desires, and so not real.
So you could just make all this go away right now?
He shrugs. I never thought to try.
Well,
Spend my whole life being terrified of the void. I wouldn't want to send away something familiar only to never have it return.
well, here's why I ask. You've been here a while, yes? You said that multiple times?
He
Maybe you've
nods.
forgotten something. If you just make it all go away, and there is something here that needs to come with you, perhaps it'll remain. Because it's real.
Letting go is not my family's strong suit,
Well,
but I can try.
you've always been the outlier, why not now?
And he smiles like that. I think that works. That like, well, you're not like the rest of your family, right? Like, yeah. And he kind of smiles at you and he says, no. I suppose that we don't have everything in common, do we? And he closes his eyes and he takes a deep breath in through his nose and out through his mouth. And from him, a wave of like disruption as the whole thing starts to crumble back into the fog. Yeah, and I think that you see his clothes change slightly. His like resting kind of like tunic becomes armor. Like he's wearing like leather, ancient-looking leather armor. Not ancient in that it's old, but like of an ancient design. A scimitar takes a place next to the curved dagger on his belt. There's a black like an onyx pinned in his turban that appears around his head, and a cloak of beautiful like sable appears, like dark color appears around his shoulders, and he looks much more like a desert like a bandit prince than like you can suddenly see the same royalty in him all of a sudden that you saw in the Immortals. And Ramus, he looks a lot more like Kazan now. That kind of smugness like creeps back into his face, or you see his lip curve back a little bit, and like he becomes more like self-assured. Yeah, and he looks at you and he says, "I believe that is the truth of it. There's nothing left here. My prison's all gone to cloud.
Great.
I suppose we return."
I suppose so.
Know that your other half plans to murder your family.
I had wondered, after all these years, why I never thought of it myself. Why were they allowed to go and build a city and rule it while I had to stay here and protect them? But never once had I felt bitter, angry. Only placid sense of love for them. I think perhaps you know where all my bitterness went.
I think I do.
And you say he serves the tower.
That's what he says.
Suitable. My job is to protect, to defend, to hold on to things. It only makes sense that he would be drawn to destruction. I'm very curious to meet him.
He seems about as opposite of you as you could get.
We shall see.
All right. Well, let's all put our minds together and think of an exit. All right. Let's
Okay.
leave this goddamn place.
Computer, exit.
Yeah, right. Actually, you can't. Moriarty's there, and he shoots you with a gun. Okay, yeah. So you focus on leaving, and we see the archway, the stone arch appear in view through the fog as it splits.
I think as we're like walking towards that, I say, Kali, that girl that's in your room.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should, but what if you just left her there? She'd be safe.
I'll pretend like you. I'll pretend like you didn't just say that.
Did you have a bad life here, old man?
He shakes his head. No.
She
The
could have
devil's whole
whatever.
purpose is to provide earthly delight. Why?
Kali, she could have whatever she wanted and be safe. And you could come get her whenever you wanted. I don't think now's the best time to bring her with us. But it's up to you. I'm just saying that's what I would do. And I walk a little bit ahead.
Okay.
I have an idea,
I stop and go,
but I'll see if it. I don't know if it'll work, but it's of no consequences. Let's just keep. Let's leave.
all right. We walk towards the arch.
Okay. All right. So you walk up to the arch, and you approach the door, and there's the mist kind of like separating it. And all you have to do is walk through and out into the world. So who goes first?
I'd probably go first. I've got what I wanted
All right, so
in here, so I'm done
Yoji,
with it.
you step out, and we see the gate from the other side. It is sitting on like in some rubble. There are broken wooden beams strewn around. The gate itself is covered in graffiti. There's like paint splattered on it. You can see around it. There are buildings that have sort of like fallen. There's debris all over the place. The sky is dark, and the sun is blotted out by this darkness. We can see it's flickering corona trying to like make itself seen. And you step out into this kind of rust colored twilight, Yoji, and we pull back and we see you standing amidst the rubble, and we pull back and we see the rest of the city, and there's like collapse and ruin. And the further back we get, we start to pull away from the rubble and the destruction, and we see the city, and most of the city now has been consumed by this golden plague, right? We can see that an entire side of the mountain has been converted into these like gold steps. We can see there are floating crystalline structures ringing the city in a kind of halo. There are these scarab beetles everywhere, right, crawling through everything. And most of the city has fallen, except for the upper city. There is a set of two buildings. All that remains are the tower. We can see its dark shape, and there's a great burning fire on top of it. It's become like a lighthouse. So there's this burning flame at the top of the tower, and we can see lightning dancing around in the sky. There's like a big storm kind of brewing around the city, and then we see what at first is the kind of magenta, like opalescent dome protecting the Immortals Palace. And that's pretty much all that's left. It hasn't already been converted into Farang structures or is like burnt rubble. All around you, the temple of the devil is just like gone. Like there's just nothing there. The stone archway leading into the vault was all that's left, and it's sort of tipped over. And as you step out, you're followed by Shadow Hazan or whatever, like Void Hazan. And when he steps out, there's a flash of light, which at first we think might be like lightning. But when you look at it, it sustains too long. There's this bright flash, and then it slowly fades. And when you look up to the source of it, we can see that like a beautiful glass flower, the dome protecting the Immortals Palace begins to open, and we see it like spreading its petals and fade away. The petals of the dome begin to dissolve, and Ramus and Kalimat, you both emerge from the gate behind Yoji, and you see the city just in ruins around you, mostly converted. Just you've been gone a long time. And I think I want to get a reaction shot of each character, and then I know it's a little bit early, but I feel like that's a great place to stop rather than to push on another like whatever 5 minutes to do the thing. So
Sure.
what does it look like as you all emerge? Like what's everybody's look on their face as you emerge from the gate? Yoji, you were first. So are you wearing your mask? Are you impassive?
I think I walk out. I'm not wearing my mask, and then that's what I do is I slip my mask on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The void is on Shazam. He just looks like startled, or he looks out at this place like, my God, like this is the city my family made. And then who's next out of the portal, Ramus or Kalimat?
I think I'll be last.
Okay, so Ramus, what is your reaction? We see you emerge from the mist.
I think I only focus on the tower. I'm not looking at anything else. Just this look of there's flames from the top of the tower reflecting the top of my eyes. Just pure fire.
Yeah. Yeah, and the tower is this great black silhouetted edifice burning on top like a torch, and there's a storm flickering around it, lightning like flashing, and it looks like it does on the tower, right? Like the lightning keeps striking or on the card, the lightning keeps striking the tower, and you imagine without even having to go there that there is probably like a ring of enormous skeletons clustered around its base, praying up to the terrible fire. It's as close to the divine image of the tower as you can imagine. And so yeah, we see that reflected in your eyes. And then Kalimat, you're the last to emerge from the portal. What do you see? What do we see when you on your face?
I come out of the portal and look around, and it's just dead inside. Just completely like glossed over. Like I've got nothing. Like, and I'm assuming Maud is taken or dead. Like I kind of glanced to where like the direction of the room would be, and I look up at the dome of the city opening up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just stare lifelessly, like I'm in a dream.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And as we get the group shot of the four of you standing at the base of the thing, the last thing that happens, the gate collapses, the stones shift, and the archway crumbles. The last vestiges of the temple of the devil falling in this godless city. And then we fade with it to black. And that's our episode.
Cool stuff. That was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Let's do some shout outs. We're going to do that post show. And then we'll do XP also before we depart.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dan, why don't you start us off with some shout outs?
Hi, I'm DansGaming, variety streamer on Twitch, currently playing through Grand Theft Auto Vice City with some awesome tunes. You want to tune in tomorrow? I'll be live at 9 a.m. Pacific. That was one hell of an episode, and that ending was like, what the fuck? How are we going to get back over there? And I can't wait to figure out all that next week.
And hopefully we will. Zeke, some shout outs.
What up, everybody? Thank you, guys. What a fucking ride again. Another emotional roller coaster, of course. Some days you leave with with a cheer in your heart, and some days you leave just filled with nothing. Like just an empty space inside. And that's kind of how I feel right now. Just like didn't get any of my questions answered. Everything is fucked. It's all my fault. And scene. So I love it. I would not trade it for the world. I love that there's some form of entertainment and gaming that can make me feel this way. And I'm grateful that I get to be a part of it every week. Find me on social media. Everything is at or / Ezekiel_III. That's Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to check out my video of this happening, it's in my VODs. And in past highlights, you can find it pretty easily. It was like only 2 days ago. So I don't know. I did a little sneaky Warframe cast last night, like way late at night. Maybe I'll do it again. But if not, I'll see you tomorrow for Drop Frames.
Awesome stuff. Adam, some shout outs. We'll do goals afterwards.
All right. Cool. Yeah, these shout outs are so quick because we're missing our barbarian. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Very special shout outs to Superheated Tungsten. Yeah, thanks everybody. So this episode, I like the episodes where we get to do like the first couple of hours is like D&D puzzle in a drawer, and it's funny and hilarious, and then the next couple of hours is like actually you get what you wanted and you learn all the secrets. I'm really excited to see the next few episodes as we conclude this arc of the City of Brass, and I'm already starting to percolate some plans about the next thing. If you have questions about any of this business, I'm going to just finish up the Q&A thread, and I'll post it here. It's going to be live at community.itmeJP.com. And if you want to follow me on the internet, I'm at twitch.tv/Adam Coble and on Twitter @skinnyghost. So thank you so much for coming, everybody. we do Court of Swords to entertain your ass. So I'm glad you're here. We're gonna do the Patreon thing now. So
Gotta do
it for me.
XP first.
I guess I'll give you XP.
We gotta see if I
you
level
got
up,
lots
Adam.
There's lots of goals. Okay, so let's start with the OG. So you did the Willow Weeps for her father. You learned the first step. You could do another goal, like learn more about it.
Right.
'Cause it's a very potent weapon. So let me give you XP for that. What level are you?
7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that one you get 700 experience for that one.
Okay.
It's a little guy. You
Progress
worked towards, but I don't think. I mean, Ramus doesn't have a soul yet, but you work towards that. So that's 50 times your level. And then you went into the vault and you came back alive. So that's worth. Let's see. That's worth another 1,500 for that one.
Survey says I think I leveled up. It's 34,000, right?
I'm not sure.
For level 8. I'll confirm in just a sec. You can do someone else.
Yeah, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm terrible at all the player-facing stuff. Just I can't. I don't.
Yep. Level 8. Thank God.
You leveled?
Yeah.
Fucking sweet. Congratulations. Welcome to level 8.
We did.
All right. Kalimat. So you did learn a clue that might lead you to more Dragonborn. You added another page to your lore Bible about the Dragonborn. And actually today inspired me for some ancient Dragonborn history stuff. So I've got some ideas.
Okay.
I feel like with Kalimat there is like a much larger arc at play here. Like if we followed Kalimat on the next thing, the next arc could be about like the ancient Dragonborn. So I got some stuff that just started kind of percolating today. So thank you for pursuing that some more. What level are you, Kalimat? 8?
8.
8 now? Okay. All right. So finding another clue in here wasn't difficult. That's 900 experience for that one.
Okay.
You escaped the vault alive,
Mm-hmm.
which is another 1,800 experience, 1,800.
Yep.
And you got the key, which is another 1,800.
Okie dokie.
You did all your goals in one go. Nice work.
It was a nice day for that. And yet I still feel so terrible.
So, Ramus, now you had a goal to find the location of a soul. You know where it is now for sure. You need to get there, but you know where it is. You're level 9, right, Ramus? Yep. Okay. All right. So that one is worth 2,200 for you. And then retrieve something valuable from the vault, which you did. So that's another, let's see, 1,100 for that one. And you still need an opportunity to lay Berg to rest, though you got to find what happened to his body and see how long you've been gone.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Wow. Lots of goals. Basically, Ramus and Yoji both need 2 new ones next time, and Kalimat needs a whole new set. So that's great. Good work, everybody.
Yep.
Cool. That's it. That's XP.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. We're going to go record that Patreon episode. If you want to watch that, it's patreon.com/roleplay. We'll get that posted up in just a little bit. Also, the MP3 will be going live later tonight. Tomorrow, like Zeke said, we got Drop Frames. Thursday, Oddballs is back. That's at 3 o'clock Eastern. If you want to watch a goofy 80s themed RP show with Jesse Cox at the helm, Morgan Webb there, Cinnamon Toast Ken, Elspeth Eastman, and Octopimp. That's 3 on Thursday. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you guys, I think, next Tuesday for more at our normal time, 6 o'clock Eastern. So we'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. I saw a bunch of new names in the chat. Welcome. We hope to have us back, or have you back next week for more. If you want to get caught up or watch any other roleplay shows, you can do so over at youtube.com/itmeJP. We'll get those VODs posted starting tomorrow. We release one every 48 hours after the initial one. No stream for me tonight. We'll definitely be doing some Warframe tomorrow after dropped frames. And then if you want to watch some more Kingdom Hearts franchise playthrough, you can do so Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern, as we're going to be jumping into 358 divided by 2, the movie, and then immediately following that, Kingdom Hearts 2. Hope to see you guys then. For now, we're out. We'll see you tomorrow. Drop frames 1 o'clock Eastern. Bye-bye.